right, well, it is Labor Day weekend 2021, September 4th, and I am on my way out to our North Texas hunting lease to put in a work day. If you guys missed the podcast a few weeks back between myself and our media production manager, Nick Powell, we talked about this property, but I'll tell you a little bit about it. This is 800 acres that we've gotten on this lease, just us two and our dads. We've been very fortunate with getting on this property. It is untouched whitetail country, is what it is. So never been hunted before. We're starting from ground zero. So the plan today, we're gonna check these trail cameras that we put out last time, and then I have 4 new spy point cell cams that I'm gonna put out on this property today. A couple of them I'm going to put on some bow setups that we're putting out today. So this is day 1 of hopefully years to come. So stay tuned and welcome to Texas Dirt. Some deer corn. Alright, we just got out here. Put some boots on, some bug spray, and get at it. It's a whopping 90 degrees already, so gonna be a fun day. Alright, so first trail camera is down here a little ways. We're going to check it and see what we got. Alright, so our trail cam's on that little tree right there. This kind of tucks back into a little clearing and back into the brush. Power line right here. And then there's actually right over there on that side, there's a tank, water source right there. So that's why we put this one here, because we're thinking that this is a good crossing point. Nick's dad did come out a week after I put these cameras up and checked them and saw a few deer and pigs on them, but it was only after a few days. So they've been out here for about a month since then, so I'm hoping to have some good pictures. Let's take a look. Now it's probably kind of hard to see. I got does and pigs so far. There's a cow. Pigs at night, cow, more cows. Alright, so this camera had about 250 pictures on it from over the course of the last month. We have one young buck, a little 8-point. The rest were all does, pigs, and cows. Pretty infrequent, so I don't think we're looking at a super high traveled trail right here in front of us. So we're going to move this camera up this power line just a little bit and see if it gives us anything different. Alright, so we got our new camera set right here, or same camera, we just moved it. So this is kind of the other end of that little clearing that I showed you guys earlier. We had the camera on that side. There's a little kind of a thicker brush patch tree line, and then it kind of comes to these, there's a couple trails running through right here, and then go into the same water hole over here. So we just moved it to the other side to see if this is a more well-traveled path. So we'll let this run for a little bit, and next time we're out here we'll check it. We might move it again. This is part of having a brand new property. You got to move stuff around, you got to change stuff, and figure out where the deer are. So we saw some deer on that camera down there, but it wasn't quite the activity we're looking for, the consistency. So we're going to move it down here, see if this does any better. All right, so it's time to go check camera number 2. It is up this hill. This is a smaller power line, not as big and wide as the last one, but both of the previous times I've been out here, there's a game trail up here that we've seen deer and pigs on. So I'm pretty excited to check this one and see what's on it. I almost walked right past it. There's actually a deer back here in these woods right now. You maybe hear it. Try to be as quiet as we can with this one. Doe and fawns. Cow. All right, so on this camera, we have pictures of deer. Almost every single one of the 63 had a deer or something in it. That one buck looked like an 8-point, 3.5, maybe 4. Kind of hard to tell with the tall grass, but biggest deer that we got a picture of so far in the place. Still got another camera to check, so yeah, I think I'll leave this one and we'll go find camera number 1. I appreciate you guys hanging with me through my little bit of wandering around and checking these existing cameras. So this is the last camera that's already out here that I have to check. This is camera number 1. I'm excited about this one because this one is in the area that I plan to be bow hunting. A little bit more brushed in, but some wider trails that run through here. The cows don't really come down here, so it's more whitetail trails and everything down here. So we'll probably be doing a lot of work down here while we're here, but I'm gonna check this camera and then we're gonna start looking down in this area for a good spot for a bow blind. So let's see what we got. Whoa. Whoa, my friends. Look at that stud. Holy crap. That is a monster. That is a stud buck. Pigs. There he is again. That's hit lister number 1 right there, folks. I just got chills. I'm excited. That is a stud of a buck. Little coyote. Smaller 8. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. That is a giant deer. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I gotta call Nick. Holy crap, that's a big deer. All right. So I talked to Nick. I'm still freaking ecstatic. So here's what we're doing. We're already in this area. A buck like this is not one that we want to pressure. So I'm probably going to put a couple spy points down here to track this deer. And we're going to try to find a spot for a bow blind. And I talked to Nick. He's pretty pumped. We both agree that this deer is a shooter deer. He is old enough to shoot. He's a mature deer. So he is officially hit lister number 1. So this right here is where that camera is. That's the trail right here that buck's been walking. So I'm gonna go put my computer back because I'm tired of hauling around the woods. And then we are going to find a spot for our stands. We have a bow blind and a tree stand that we need to find a spot for. We got 2 feeders that we want to throw up. I don't know if I want to put both of them down here because that is going to give the deer 2 different options as far as where they could go, and it decreases my chances of seeing a deer on one of my stands. So we're going to figure that out and see. I brought the ladder stand, the tree stand, and even I can find a tree big enough, but if I can't, we'll obviously be rolling with the bow blind. Try to find a good spot not too far off this trail for us to set up on, so that hopefully opening day we got a shot at that buck. So trail cam checks are over and it is time to start working. So what I'm thinking, guys, I want to be able to see this clearing over here, this this big clump of trees right here is kind of split in the two. I won't be able to see that one, but I'm thinking this is the one I want to hunt. So some stuff to think about whenever you're setting a ground blind or a feeder. There's three things that you want to think about. The first one obviously is location. You want a good spot that's going to attract the deer. Obviously, it's pretty simple. You don't want to just throw one out there anywhere. You want to have proof that the deer are there. I have plenty of proof that the deer are in this whole entire area, so it's more just specifically where I want to put it. And that's where the other two factors come into play, one being access. So I got to think about how I want to be able to access my stand, because ideally you want to be able to slide in there without walking through the area that your deer are going to be traveling, or through the area where your feeder is set. So I'm going to try my best to put my ground blind in a position where I can get into it without disrupting as little as possible. So looking to the north here, we have two roads that come down on this side, probably 250 yards from us back here, maybe a little bit farther, and then the truck is probably 300 yards that way. So either one of those would work as an option to get in here, and there's plenty of trails that come up through here, little draws and everything that I can use to slide into my blind if I need to. The third and final thing that I want to talk to you guys about is orientation and the direction you want your blind set. Obviously, we want our blind backed up against some brush to, break it up and everything, so it's not just sitting out there in the open. But which direction do I want it to face? Do I want it to face to the north? Do I want it to face south, east, west? What do I want? Ideally, if you can, you want to try to, and this goes really for any stand, in my opinion, you want to try to set your stands going north-south, facing north or south. That way, the sun isn't affecting you. I've had plenty of stands where the only way I could set it was either facing east or facing west, and that stand was only really good for one hunt out of the day. I'd like my stands to be able, I have the option to hunt a morning or evening. And if they're facing east, then it's not a good morning stand because the sun's in my eyes and it's lighting me up. Same goes for the west, vice versa. So we're probably going to put our feeder somewhere in here. Give us a little bit of area so we can see the deer coming in right here through this clearing. And then we're probably going to put our stand somewhere, our blind somewhere tucked back in here, and clear out a little bit of brush or something so that we have plenty of room. And that way we can visualize this, so they're clearing right here. So stay tuned and we're going to get to work. All right, guys. So we're back at the truck. It's a lot longer of a walk to that ground blind than I thought. We're changing our plan a little bit. I'm gonna go see if I can find a spot for my tree stand real quick. We're gonna throw that up somewhere on that trail, hopefully, where that buck is walking, and just hunt the trail, no feeder or anything. And then the ground blind is way far that way. And one of those roads to the north of it that I mentioned earlier is gonna be better for access to the ground blind. So we're gonna see if we can get this ladder stand situated, and then we're gonna drive around to that ground blind and take care of that one. We're also going to swap that wild game camera, just the memory card one, with a cell cam, because I don't want to touch this area after today with that big deer in here. So, but I want real-time intel so I can know when he's coming in consistent enough to actually hunt him. So we're going to swap that camera with a cell cam. We're going to put a cell cam on our ground blind down there, and then we're out of here. Hopefully find a spot for that ladder stand. So we're gonna go see if we can find that and take it from there. All right, guys, I found just about the only tree that'll work, and we're not gonna get that high. I wasn't expecting to. Y'all have seen the country, you know. This is about the best spot that I'm gonna be able to find. So we're gonna get our ladder stand down here. This is not quite where I was hoping. It's close. I don't know for sure because after the camera down there, the trail splits, and I don't know which way that buck's going. Could be this one, could be the next one up. Time will tell. So an idea behind this ladder stand is it's close to a buck area, buck traffic, a big deer we're hunting. The idea is that maybe if we're unsuccessful getting them in bow season during the rut, we'll be able to entice them in here with a grunt call or horns or something like that. Some dose estrus scent, something. We can see a little bit of area, especially if we're gonna be elevated. So I'm gonna get the ladder stand, I'm gonna set up a tripod so we can video it, and we're gonna get this thing up, get this tree trimmed up. That way we can move on to the ground blind. Alright, sorry my video got cut short, guys. My camera fell over, and probably a good thing. I was struggling. I'm in the tree, as you can tell. I'll show you all the view. It's not bad. It's limited. But the trail, it's right there. That I'm guessing that buck's gonna come down. And this is just kind of open. There's a trail that runs through there, but I don't know what kind of activity it gets. So we'll see. A lot kind of more narrow shooting lanes, but you can see through the trees and see stuff coming. And like I said, we're so limited on tall trees. This is about the only one I was gonna get a tree stand in. So, all right guys, not gonna lie, it's really hot and I'm really tired, and I still got a lot to do and not a lot of time. So I'm gonna do my best to keep documenting for you guys. But if the footage lays off just a little bit, I apologize. I hope this has still been a good episode for y'all. We're heading down. We parked on the different road. We're heading down to put up the ground blind now. So I'll see you down there. All right, guys. Blind is over there. Even spot point camera over there. I'm whipped. I got 2 more cameras to place, and we're out of here. I appreciate you guys tuning in to the first episode of Texas Dirt. I hope you guys got something out of the series. We're gonna continue to film every time we're out here on into deer season. Hopefully putting a big deer on the ground, as y'all have seen. So thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time.